Hi everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. So this is my finale for my Project 20 Pan Roulette. I decided to wrap it up now just because I've been working on the products for so long, and I am going to be starting a new roulette project very soon, and it's something very special. It is a viewer's choice roulette. So I will have that video linked down below and probably also up here somewhere as well. So you can click on that and go make sure that you vote on whatever category you would like to see me pan an item from. I will be doing 5. I'm doing a project 5 pan roulette just because I'm working on so many other projects as well. And I find that I work better with a lot of smaller projects as opposed to fewer really large projects. So I haven't finished all 20 items that were in this project, but I did finish quite a few. As always, I have a list in the description box of the products that are currently in progress and the products that I have finished. And if you are curious about any of the products and you missed any of my previous updates, you can always go check those ones out to hear my thoughts on them. I have already gotten rid of the products that I finished previously. So this is just the products I have finished since my last update. So the first product that I finished is the Rimmel Stay Blushed Liquid Cheek Tint in the shade Peach Flush. So this took a long time to finish, but you know, with about 6.5 solid months of usage and mixing and matching it with other things, I managed to get it finished. I will not be repurchasing it. I have no plans whatsoever to get another cream blush. I think I might have a couple still left in my stash to work through. They just are not for me. They look pretty. They're just really time consuming and messy to apply. For me personally, I know some people really like them, and I just much prefer powder products to cream. My e.l.f. HD blush in Headliner. This one is finished as well, or as much as I could get out of there. This is a terrible packaging for a product. You pump it out, or at least I do, on the back of my hand so that I'm not applying too much, because if you were to apply this directly onto a brush and then onto your face, you'd be applying too much product, at least for me, for what I think is too much product. You can control how much blush you put on your face by putting it on your hand first, and that was a tip that was given to me by someone in the comments of one of my earlier updates, so I much appreciate that, because that was how I managed to get through this. But you are wasting a lot of product because so much comes out. So not everything that I put on my hand I ended up using because it was just too much product. You can't control the amount. I find that there's a few products that are like that just have like really bad packaging flaws. And with pump products, sometimes you get too little or too much, and in this case it's too much, and there's nothing you can really do about it then except for just not use the product. Now it's e.l.f., so it's fairly inexpensive anyway. But again, like the Rimmel, I will not be repurchasing a cream blush. They are just not for me. I much prefer powder blushes. I just find it's the ease of application with powder as opposed to cream. But I will say, if you are a very natural kind of makeup person, if you like very laid back casual looks, cream blushes will be your best friend because they look so natural, and the wear of them looks better in my opinion than a powder product. Sometimes I find that powder blushes wear sort of weirdly, and sometimes they fade strangely, or sometimes those fade completely, and I find that layering the cream and the powder did help with that, and the cream is going to last a lot longer. So there's always the pros and the cons. Just for me, the cons of cream blushes outweigh the pros. I finished the Marc Jacobs So Rouge lipstick. So that is what is left there. I mixed and matched this with a variety of other lipsticks. I think I wore red lipstick on its own once. I just mix and match and layer, and I would just use this as a base shade and then apply stuff over it. I'm honestly wearing a red lipstick as a base right now. It's the other one that's in my project. I'll talk about it in a minute. And I just keep layering things till I get something lighter, because I never do really low-key eyes, I guess, and I find that if you have too much going on with your eyes and then you have like a red lip, I find that it just doesn't mesh well for me. Like, I tried wearing a straight up red lip with this look and it was not very flattering. Some people really love red lips, and I will occasionally do like the classic cat eye red lipstick thing very, very rarely. I just don't think that it suits me as much as other things do. So this was a pretty nice formula, I will say, for a lipstick. A little bit stiff. I like my lipsticks a little bit creamier than this, but because this was stiff, it made it easier to mix and match with other things. Creamier formulas like slide around a little bit and they just don't mix as well. Like, you have to be really cautious when you're mixing things anyway, because it can be really easy to like go completely out of control. Just stiffer formulas like this Marc Jacobs one just work better as a base, because then whenever I put on top anything a little bit smoother and creamier will just mix better with that. So I'm glad this is gone, definitely. This is one of those VIB Rouge perks from Sephora, which was so silly. I mean, it's so tiny and red lipstick. I get that it's rouge, but oh well, it's done. It's gone. I'm finished with it. The last product I didn't quite finish, but it has developed a bit of a strange scent. That is the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Istanbul, and it still swatches beautifully. I just put it on my lips the other day and I was like, oh, this does not smell right. It smells like it might have expired. I don't know if it's because I've had it for a long time, or maybe I didn't close the cap once or twice. Sometimes I do that accidentally with products like this. Like, I will apply one coat and I'll put it back in here thinking, okay, maybe I'll go back in with another coat. But if one coat's enough, then sometimes I leave it on like that, as opposed to getting it all the way in, and I feel like maybe air and moisture and stuff got in there and just contaminated it a little bit. So I didn't completely finish this, but I am going to be tossing it because I don't want to use anything that has changed smell or texture, and in this case it's the smell. So really pretty shade. I really like the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. I just don't use them as much as I do other products. They are a really nice formula, and I think like in an ideal world, maybe sometime in like the very, very distant future, I'd like to get more of these to use. So that leaves us with the 5 products that I have not finished. The first product is the Studio Fix from MAC in the shade N4. So I did increase the pan on this, but I honestly haven't been using this as much. I kind of forgot about it for a while. I had put this in a different spot than I did with some of the other powders I was using. So I was going through using my daily powders and completely overlooking this one by accident. So I think I would have had a little bit more progress if I had put a little bit more effort into it and had put it in a better spot. That's one thing with projects. I find that it's really important to put the things that you want to use in eyesight, because otherwise I will just grab whatever's closest, and if it's not the thing in my project, it will get used. And that can be a problem sometimes, because like that, it gets overlooked. The Smashbox Always Sharp Waterproof Kohl Liner in Raven. I only use this a handful of times. I just been trying to get as much usage out of it as possible. I don't really care for this formula of eyeliners. I like smoother eyeliners. This one is almost impossible to get to use in the waterline, which is what I like to use it for. I just find that I just don't get any pigment in there, or it's just really tough. So I feel like I'm pulling a lot when I'm using it, as opposed to other ones that just kind of glide on. This one's a lot rougher, and it works for really basic eyeshadow looks, and when I'm applying eyeliner onto my lid, it works really, really well for that. But I don't tend to do that very often. I just have not been in that phase. I used to do my makeup like that a lot, and it makes me wish that I had this eyeliner back in the day when I used to be like gold eyeshadow and black eyeliner, which is kind of what I'm wearing today. But I just didn't do a lot of liner. I just have not been liking that right now. I've just been mostly doing my waterline, like tight lining. That's all I've been doing, and this just doesn't work very well for that. My Dior Gold Touch eyeshadow, I actually used a little bit because I was feeling some gold eyeshadow, and I finished the golds in the Vice LTD, so I wanted something like this. So I started using this. I expanded the pan just a little bit because I used it probably like 3 or 4 times. So happy I got a little bit more usage out of that. This will be going back into my collection, although this is a pretty old product, gotta say. One of the categories that's really highly upvoted for my Viewer's Choice Roulette is oldest product in my collection, and this is definitely in the running because I've had this before I even got any of my naked palettes, So I think this shadow is 3 or 4 years old. Like it's old. It's old. A lot of my makeup is newer because I only started to get really back into makeup again when Sephora opened here like 5 years ago. So anyway, the Revlon Colorburst Matte Balm in Shameless. Didn't get much use out of this either, as much as I love it. Look at that. I love it so much. I feel like I'm going to get more usage out of this in the fall, so I'll probably try putting this in a project that I'd be working on for the fall time, because I feel like I always want to reach for this particular lip product in like September, October, and November. So I feel like if I have that in a project, I will get a lot of usage out of it and might potentially be able to finish it. And the last product I have here is my mini Kat Von D foiled lipstick in Adora, which I feel like is pretty on trend right now because it's sort of like a metallic finish. I really only use this like twice. This is the one I'm using as a base, if you can believe it. I honestly put this on first, and then I just didn't like the way that it looked with my eye look, so I blotted it, and then I put Kat Von D's Noble liquid lipstick on top, and then a little bit of Anastasia's Milkshake too. So that's honestly what this is, so that's just funny. But it swatches beautifully. It is an old lip product as well. This is a few years old now. It is probably my favorite red lipstick that I have. I just really like that particular red shade. I just don't wear red lipstick very often, and I really like this finish. I know the foiled lipsticks don't even exist. I think they were like a Kat Von D experiment, and I think they're gone. I know the shade Adora does exist though in her regular like studded kiss line, but that is probably like the one red lipstick that I would want to have in my collection. So I am left with 5 products, but that's okay. I've been working on them for so long, and maybe 1 or 2 of them will end up in my new project, which will be starting July 1st, July 2nd, somewhere around there. I'm closing the voting on the 1st, so I don't know if I will have the intro up that night or the next day, but I will have it up as soon as I can tally everything up. But that's why it's really important for you guys to go vote, so you guys can have your say. I know some people don't like the viewer's choice, and that's okay, but I think a lot of people like it, and it's really helpful for me because it gives me a really good idea on the kinds of products that you guys would like to see pan. And if you're more interested, I feel like you're going to be more motivated to watch, and it kind of goes back and forth, because if you're interested in watching what I'm doing, then I'm going to be more motivated to use the products, which means that you're going to be more motivated to watch me, and it's just like we're feeding off of each other. So I think that's been really great. But anyway, that is everything for my finale. As always, let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns down below. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I really hope I will see you in my next one. Bye.